Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are taking up the 64th and the 65th verse of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So now we will begin our conversation by chanting the one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Now, the live chat has been activated. If you have any questions or if you have any doubts, you can type it in that live chat. The questions or your doubts can be typed there. I've tried to answer at the end of the today's discourse or the next week's discourse. Thank you. Now we shall chant the 64th verse of the second chapter. Om Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Om Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Blessed Lord said to Arjuna, Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu Vishayanindriyaischaran Atmavasyair Vidheyatma Prasadhamadhigacchati 2. But Charan Vishayan, moving amidst unavoidable sense objects, Indriyaihi Atmavashyehi, with sense organs which are under his control, Ragadvesha Viyuktaihi, which are free from likes and dislikes, attraction and aversion, Vidheyatma, the self-controlled one, Adhigacchati, enjoys, Prasadam, tranquility of mind. But moving amongst unavoidable sense objects, with sense organs which are under his control, which are free from likes and dislikes, the self-controlled one enjoys tranquility. Now, we had discussed this verse maybe past 2 or 3 discourses. In the last discourse I had told, we discussed about the different aspects of this. Finally, we had come to the point where we were about to learn about the way by which, with the help of this teaching of Bhagavad Gita, with the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta, how can we convert this knowledge? How can we convert this knowledge into emotional strength? Because what we live in this world is based on the emotional happenings. Rather, much of our life is controlled by these emotional happenings, likes and dislikes, worries, tension, so many other things. So all these are emotional problem. For example, emotional insecurity is an emotional problem. Then we see that the attachment is an emotional problem. Then we see that depression is an emotional problem. Jealousy is an emotional problem. So there are so many things in our life. Most of the things, 90% of the things, we are controlled by these, not the intellectual strength, but the emotional strength. our likes and dislikes, our samskara, our character, these control us. So if we don't convert this knowledge, the conviction, the faith, the intellectual strength into emotional strength, it will be of not much use. It will be useful, but not much use. So in today's class, we will see how to convert this intellectual strength or the knowledge of the Atman, Paramatman, of God into emotional strength. So now, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita prescribes 3 exercises for this conversion of knowledge into emotional strength. And what are those 3 exercises? We have earlier too discussed the same thing, but again we have to take up that aspect because they are important in our life. Conversion of our intellectual strength into emotional strength. That's why the same thing which I have already discussed earlier will be explained, will be discussed in a different perspective so that we can get that knowledge again. It will be revised. So what are the 3 exercises which Lord Krishna prescribes for this conversion of the knowledge into the emotional strength? So number 1, it is sensory control, Indriya Nigraha, sensory control, the sense control. We have 5 sense organs, so control that. Then after this sensory regulation, that is the first exercise. It is the mind regulation, control of the mind. Then finally, after these 2 important things, the final aspect is the Vedantic exercises, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So that aspect, important aspect of reliving that meditation again and again, continuously living on those thoughts. That is the third, Nididhyasana, the Vedantic meditation, which is the third, constantly living in that knowledge of God. That is the third method by which we can gain this mastery of converting the intellectual strength into emotional strength. So when we take up the first one, that is the sense control, because here Lord Krishna is telling about Atma Vishir Vidhe Atma, then Ragadvesha Vyuktaistu Indriyan Charan Vishayan. So the sense objects and the sense organ is mentioned again here by Lord Krishna in this verse. So the first discipline is again and again stressed. So that is a gateway for all the external things of the world to enter into our personality, our mind, or our system. So that's why it's very, very important. So we shall see what Lord Krishna has to tell by this sensory regulation or Indriya Nigraha. So in the last verse we had seen, or this verse itself, Atma Vashair Vidhe Atma. In the first thing, Lord Krishna tells that Ragat Vesha Vyuktaistu Vishayan Indriyais Charan Atma Vashair Vidhe Atma Prasadam Adhigachyati. Now this sense regulation is so very important. Why is it so important? The 5-fold sense organs. See, sense mastery is the sense, we mean the 5-fold sense organs. You all know that. Should I explain it again? The eyes we look at, the nose we smell, the mouth we taste, the tongue, then the ears we hear, the skin that touches. So all these are the 5 sense organs through which the external world enters. All the happenings in this world enters into our mind, or the mind will go out to this world, or the world will enter into our mind. Either way, whatever you might tell, it's the same thing. That's why these are the doorways. So it's very, very important. So an example can be given. Without the sense regulations, you the whole world cannot enter, can enter easily. Without this sense regulation, without the control, the whole world can enter your mind easily without your own permission. They can do havoc, cause havoc in your mind. So the example which is given is when you build the house, even before you start building the house, for the security reasons, so that people may enter into your property and steal things. So you put a electrical fencing or the fencing so that thieves and other people will not enter it. So the first thing you do is, even before you construct a house, you put in a fencing so that nobody will enter and steal things. So we then later on build the house firmly with strong walls. Then we have doors and windows, and those doors and windows are protected by the iron grills, the security grills, so that the thief cannot easily break and come inside. And we have the lock system also to that. And then we close the doors every day without fail. Not only the door, we have a compound outside and we have a gate there too, and we have security there. The watchman will be there. Then we have the another system. This is the primary security system, where the person will be standing there and watching and allowing people to come in or come out. Then we have another system. Special security agencies are there. So if you pay them and have their protection, then if somebody burgles in, if there is some problem, if you press the panic button or the alarm, they will come within 7 minutes wherever they are and give us the protection. So we do that special security system too. We see that too much in South Africa. We have this all because there is a lot of burglaries, theft and crimes. So we have so many security systems everywhere in South Africa. I had not seen much. They may be there, security systems are there, not to this much extent. Not ordinary houses will be protected like this. Here everywhere we have security. Then not only that security alarm, we have the CCTV camera. Then I had heard recently from our student. I was looking after educational institution, an old student. His name was Abhishek. He told he's running a company. What's your company? I asked him. He told he has done his own system by which there'll be a camera. Special app has been created by him. He himself has created, whereby the security camera will be put near the doorbell and also above, so that nobody can reach it. One is at the door, you have the bell, so to call people. When you press the door, the camera, it will not be working always, because so many things has to be recorded and it will be deleted, and so much of your that space in the hard disk will be wasted. That's why it is not all the time necessary. Only when there is some movement in front of your house, on the road, if some animal comes or if some person comes, then only the camera will get activated. Until then it will be just quiet. So that was what he was explaining. Then even when the person presses the doorbell, then immediately the camera get activated and the person's face and everything will be seen within in the camera. Anybody, the mother or anybody in the house can see it. Who has come outside, who is standing there, is a known person, is he a known person or not person, everything can be seen outside. Only that when those people are there, then you can understand who are the people outside. And not only that, if you are not in the house, even if it is connected, a person who is away in the office or even some other state or some other country can see, look at the person who is there in front of the door. He can open the door from there. He can allow that person to come in or not come in from far off country or far off state or far off places too. So then not only that, student was telling me that speciality, without his knowledge, he came to know the parents were using it in a different way. How they could monitor whether their children who had gone to the school or college have come back on time, because the camera and other things, when they come and press the bell, immediately they will get the news that such and such a person has come. So it will be shown in the camera or in the phone, so they can understand their children, girl or boy or whoever it might be, has come back to the house on time after the college or the school. So that without his knowledge, he came to know this was a special property, and so many other special property security were identified by him, and he goes on increasing. So there are so many security systems. So if that is the case for an ordinary house, then what about your mind, which is so very important? Shouldn't you protect with so many security systems? So if that is the case with the ordinary local house, which has so many doors and gates and protection, what about our inner house called the mind, which has got 5 doors, indriyas, openings, and so many attractions, addictions, and all the things of the world waiting to come and attack you? So how much of care has to be taken? So how much of security should you put in? So that is what Lord Krishna is telling us. The first layer of security is sense regulation. So Lord Krishna says that you should be able to close the door at the appropriate time of your indriyas, the 5 indriyas. There is a saying in India. What is that? After the enemy army or the thieves, they came and looted the fort. F-O-R-T, fort. So Killa, in Hindi it's called as Killa, fort. So generally the town and city are guarded by the big wall of fort. So there will be a big door. They will close it, nobody can enter it. So after the enemy has raided and taken away all the valuables, then somebody, the security or the soldiers, closed the door of the fort, it seems. After everything was raided, everything was destroyed and looted, then they closed the door. What is the use of that? After the city or the town or the capital is looted and people are killed or things are taken away and everything is destroyed, you close the door. What is the use? You have to close the door before anything happens. So that is what Lord Krishna is telling, that you should be able to close the indriyas, the doors, at the appropriate time. And there must be also board. What is that? No admission without permission. Don't we do that? We put it on the compound, outside the compound of the big offices or even houses too. We have even dogs and other things to protect you. Be aware of dogs. That board also will be put. So many layers of security will be there. So no sound should enter through the ears, which are very bad for you. No smell, which are bad for you. No eyesight, which are bad for you. No things that you take through the mouth, which are bad for you and your health, should be taken in. No touch or anything should go inside without your permission. So you have that filter. You have to have the detector. Anyone and everyone should not, any form, any sound should never enter all your sensory system or sense organs. So I should be able to have a detector or a filter. Before anything enters, you should have the filter, so that all the bad things, only good things will be taken and the bad things are thrown away. Now, one beautiful example can be given. Suppose all types of people, all types of things, all types of ideas, without any filter, without any discrimination, if it enters your mind, how will it be like? So it is told by one great saint that the place would be like the mind would be like a public toilet. You know, the public toilet, especially in India, it's not maintained properly. So all people, all type of people enter in and dirty the place. Everywhere, it's not only in India, many other places too. So they will all dirty the place. The toilet will be dirty. Nobody will take care. Nobody will take care to clean it or anything. Similarly, if you don't put filters and detectors and stop the bad things, and if you allow all sorts of thoughts, all thoughts of sensory objects to enter your mind through the indriyas, then all type of rubbishes will enter through the sense organs, and it would have it will create havoc, it will create a storm. So all those thoughts would have entered in the morning while you have gone out to the workplace or anywhere, but they are so powerful. The sense objects and the thoughts, it's converted into the form of thoughts inside. They're so powerful that even during the evening, when you come back from the house, in your in your own house, even while you go to sleep, you will go to meditation. All those strong thoughts, all those sense objects which have gone inside your mind will start coming up, creating waves after waves, thoughts after thoughts. The pictures will come in, the sound will come in and disturb you so much that it will go round and round in your mind again and again. Those thoughts will come up, and then it may even cause nightmares, dreams too. Therefore, sense regulation is very, very important. So, here Lord Krishna is very clearly telling that you should not close off, putting the plug to all, like Mahatma Gandhiji's monkeys, closing the eyes and closing this thing. As Mahatma Gandhiji tells that it is the bad thing should not go inside, the bad thing should not be seen, the bad thing should not be told. That is the idea of the three monkeys. Nowadays there is one more monkey, so that the monkey is always watching the mobile phone, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, iPad, all those things, computer, and the what you call internet, and also the uh, television. So that monkey is still very bad, even than these things. So many things are coming up. New technologies are coming up to attack your mind, to attack your sense organs and go inside and create the disturbance. So Lord Krishna tells here sense regulation. The first exercise, very important exercise, sense regulation, the control of the senses, Indriya Nigraha. It's very, very important. And the next is also very important. And what is that? The exercise is Krishna prescribes equally important, or maybe more important. In spite of your sense control, you might have put the filters, you might have all the security so that no bad things enter. But while you go to the office, while you are driving, you see so many advertisements, so bad advertisement outside, so many bad pictures, so many bad sounds, everything you can see outside the world when you're walking, when you're going traveling to the office, when you go to the office, in the office, everywhere. So without your knowledge, or you may be helpless, so many times such things may enter your indriyas. Already they have come inside. So what to do then? So now comes the next thing, that is called mind control, mind regulation. So that next exercise Lord Krishna prescribed is the mind control. In spite of all the sense controls, all our security, I don't want to hear some conversation, that will go inside. Many people will be speaking. I don't want to hear some sounds, it goes inside. I don't want to see something, it goes inside. You are helpless. You don't want to touch something, something will go inside in the form of the touch. You don't want to smell something, everything go inside. You don't want to taste something, something will happen. So all those things through our sense organs may enter our mind. Not that you wanted to hear that conversation or see those things, but even though I don't want certain things, they may enter while you are traveling, while you are in the office, or so many places. There is you cannot just predict. So many colors, so many sounds, so many things may enter your mind. Once the outside world has entered your mind through the senses, in spite of your careful living and control, then what should I do? So what am I supposed to, how should I control those things? Lord Krishna says that what has entered your mind already, you cannot stop them because it has already entered. Then what is the remedy? What should I do? Should I go on brooding over that and just cry and be helpless? No. What is the idea? What is the solution? Very, very important thing is you should be always up and doing. What should I do next? What is the plan B? Plan A is worked out. What is plan B? What is plan C? I should have so many mechanisms, and that is mind control. So As Swami Vivekananda tells, the remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but to think of strength, giving strong thoughts. So that is very, very important. So it is mind control. So it is already entered. What shall I do now? How shall I control? Now it is at the thought level. It is at mind level. So it is in my hand whether to relieve that conversation. Some rubbish conversation has entered my ears. I have seen it. Should you replay it again and again? Should you allow it to come and produce that chitta vritti? So again that thought should come up. Should I see that picture again in my mind? Should I dream it? Should I revive it in my mind? So the continuation of the thought pattern is in my hands. You can decide that. You are the master of your mind. So often the arrival of particular thought is not in my hand. Sometimes without even my knowledge, certain things arise in my mind, surprising yourself. You'll be surprised. Oh, all these thoughts are there in my mind. So it may be from your last life. It may be without your knowledge it might have entered. It may be in the subconscious mind. Suddenly due to some triggering of the outer external circumstances, they may come up. You'll be surprised to see, oh, so many wrong thoughts, bad thoughts were there in my mind. So Lord Krishna says, do not mind. Don't mind. Don't be afraid. It might have come from outside in your last life or in this life or I don't know when, childhood. So it might rise up from your own subconscious mind and memory. Let that rubbish thought come. Do not worry. Do not matter. Do not mind it. But now you have to decide whether you should allow that thought pattern to continue. Now you have to use your willpower, your study, your intellect, the memory of so many good thoughts you have learned from your Guru, from the scriptures, from Bhagavad Gita, from Upanishads, from Bhagavata, from Ramayana, from Mahabharata, from the life of great saints, great avatars, all those things now, you have to bring it out. And with that help of those things, you have to cut off all these thoughts. You can do that. So there are so many strong positive thoughts of Swami Vivekananda, thoughts of the great avatar Ramakrishna, Mother Sharda Devi, teachings, all those things now. You can make use of it and cut off all those thoughts. The willpower, you can make your willpower strong. Your intellect, through the help of your intellect, you can overcome it. Through the help of your willpower, overcome all those things. You will not allow those thoughts to come up. It's in your hands. If you allow those thoughts, only it can come up. If you feed them, then only they will become strong. If you starve them, it cannot harm you. And also, first thing is, even if the thought comes, don't be guilty. It has come up, okay. Now, further don't allow it, entertain it. Don't go on worrying about, brooding over it. As Mother Sharda Devi and Sri Ramakrishna also used to tell, in this Kali Yuga, the sins committed at the thought level, they are no sins, nothing to worry. In this Kali Yuga, so many attractions are there, so many wrong things will come up, so don't worry. Then ignore, just like you'll be sweating every day. So many, wax will come out of your ears, so much of phlegm will come out of your nose, wax will be there in your nose too, eyes also in the morning, so many rubbish will be coming out of your eyes, then you will be excreting, you will be urinating, so many things will be secreted, so much of excreta will be there in your intestines. Are you worried? No, you think it's natural, it is there, it will go away. Why should you worry over that? So ignore all those things. Do not be worried unduly, don't give importance to them. But should you relieve it? Should you allow them to continue? No. You have to purge it. You have to not allow them to become strong. You should take control of them. That is the thought regulation or the mind control. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. First of all is, do not be guilty. Do not be worried. Do not mind. Be bold. Have that confidence. Have that willpower. Gain in more and more strengthful thoughts. Then defeat them. That is the way you can control your mind. You should decide with your willpower whether you should allow those thought patterns to continue or not. Use your willpower to nip those thoughts at the bud itself. Don't allow them to become stronger, bigger. Nip them, cut them, destroy them at the smaller level itself. That's what Lord Krishna told in the 62nd shloka, 63rd shloka. Dhyate Vishyan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate. Even the smallest thought of the This thing there itself, nip it. Don't allow it. A thought neglected burns the mind, destroys you. A spark neglected burns the house. Likewise, don't allow. Stop it at the beginning itself. When it is weak, when you are strong, stop it. This discipline is called thought discipline or mind discipline. Otherwise, another name given in the yoga, it's called shama. Shama, dama, titiksha, uparati, all those things terms are there. So shama is the mind discipline, shama. Dama is the first thing, that is the sense discipline. Sense control is called dama. Damaha. So mind control is called shamaha. So thought control is shamaha. Mind control, sense control is damaha. These two exercises are extremely important. So the two important layer of security is very, very important. Then you can make yourself strong and firm. So for Bhagavad Gita teaches us, the students of Bhagavad Gita can easily become strong at these two levels because Lord Krishna is taking us, making our minds strong, giving us the knowledge of Lord, the Atman, Paramatman, Parabrahman, everything Lord Krishna is taking us through and making our minds strong through positive thoughts. And He's also teaching us at different levels how to control our indriyas, how to control our mind, the security has to be tightened, how you can protect yourself. Then just like the tortoise, no, not even the worst of the cases can disturb you or trouble you or kill you. You can just tuck all your indriyas inside, just like that Sita Pragna or the tortoise. Kurmongani Vasarvashaha. So then Krishna says these two alone are not enough. That is the sense control and mind control. Wonderful, they are very good. They are not enough there. There's also another important, the third exercise. So all these three together are very helpful combination, a very harmonious combination of all three. Three will help us a lot. So Lord Krishna takes us through the third exercise, that is also very, very important as the sense control and mind control. And what is that? Dwelling upon the teaching, what we have received from our Guru, from the scriptures, from the elders, from your parents, all those things. All the good things which you have got. That's what Swami Vivekananda is telling. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but to think of strength. So all these thoughts will help us to become more stronger and stronger. So internally you are strong, growing from within, inside out. It's called growing from inside out. So you become stronger and stronger, then nothing from outside can touch you, can disturb you. So dwelling upon the teachings, which you have seen so many good movies in the form of the Ramayana, Mahabharata, the serials like the Mahabharata, Bhagavata, the story of the Krishna, story of Ramachandra, story of the Avatara, story of Lord Shiva, Shiva Purana, Divine Mother, Durga Saptashati, all those things, chantings, Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, all those things, thoughts of the Lord, the knowledge of the Lord will come to your help, dwelling on that, meditating on the teachings and the life. The Avatar Purusha, it is Leela Dhyana, dwelling upon the teachings, dwelling upon the Leelas of the Lord, dwelling upon the knowledge of the Lord, which you have received during Shravana, hearing from the Guru, from the different text, scriptural books. So I have to revise them, either in the form of reading. So very, very important. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramatitavyam. The Acharya tells the student while he is finished his degree and is going back to his house for higher studies or higher life. So after finishing the university, so Acharya will tell him that don't give up the habit of reading Swadhyaya. Not only reading means the reading of the books, but studying your own self means adapt all those teachings what you have learnt into your life. That is very, very important. Swadhyaya, study, habit of studying every day without failure to study. You have to read some book, gain some knowledge. So revise it, think on it. So that will help you a lot. So revise either in the form of the reading or in the form of writing. After you read something, heard something in the form of lecture or in the Harikatha or in the Ramayana Bhagavata, do not stop there. Have the habit of writing down the diary. Note it down in your diary or in your computer, wherever. Note it down. Write the habit of Have the habit of writing the diary. Diary in the sense, not simply unnecessary things, such good thoughts, whatever you have learned with the date. Note it down. What the thoughts have come after reading all those things. So many thoughts arise, good thoughts, feelings will arise in you. Note it down after reading these things, hearing Bhagavad Gita, hearing all the great scriptures, Upanishads. So start writing, putting down into the form of writing, notes. So that is also very important. Even though you yourself cannot read your own handwriting, it may be Vaidyalipi, just like the doctors write the prescription. Do not worry about that. Nobody may read it, or you yourself may not read it afterwards. But the habit of writing will help you to relive all those things, thoughts again, immediately. Revision. That's very, very important. That is a system which we were taught when we were young, how to keep everything in memory. After hearing from the teacher in the classroom, then come back to house and start reliving it. Think on it. Then your memory increases so much that you will never forget it again. Then after that again, before going to the classroom, prepare yourself. Whether the taught you by the lecturer or the teacher, do not worry about that. As much as you can understand, whatever the lesson may be, even if you don't understand, read it first, then hear it from the guru. Then after that, relive it, meditate on that, reflect on that. Then again, go through that, write it down. You see, you will never forget in your life all those things. So likewise, here too, in the teachings, the intellectual study, the words of the Lord in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in the form of so many other Gitas, Upanishads, the Bhagavata, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all those things, Puranas, have the habit of writing and reading and then reliving it. So even though if you do not understand it, don't worry. And afterwards, another thing is share it with others. Whatever thing you have learned, if you don't share it, it will be lost. That's why it's called Rishiruna. What is the Rishiruna? There are so many debts which we owe. Mata Runa, Mata Pitra Runa. There's so many other runas are there. Another important is Rishiruna. The Rishis, the seers, the saints have given us so much of knowledge. How can we clear that debt? By sharing it to others. How is it helpful to me? That to hear in my mind control. If I share it with others, if I give all that knowledge in the form of Bhagavad Gita, whatever I have heard, distribute it to your children, to your grandchildren, to the neighbors, to the other children, younger ones, everybody, in a very good way. Don't go on, what do you call, troubling them with your boring things, but make it more interesting. Give them a cup of coffee, give them a chocolate, give them something eatables. So while they are eating in a very good manner, go on sharing all these thoughts, make them happy with these thoughts. Those thoughts will go to their mind and helping them too. Your children, your grandchildren, other neighbors, small children, everybody. So it will help them. So you have to share. You have to put out whatever you have learned. You have to give it, share it with others. So it is not just go on forcing. In a very planful way, you can give that very nicely. So that will again help you. So you are reliving everything again and again. It becomes very strong thought in you. So these are the process by which you can relive all those things, all the teachings, dwelling upon the teachings, sharing and Shravana, Manana, hearing, Manana, reflecting and reliving. Reliving the Shravanam is called Nididhyasanam, meditating on that. So reliving all those teachings which are given in your class or you are reading or you might have heard it, seen it, which is extremely important exercise. Just like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to tell, how should you do a pilgrimage? After going to the pilgrimage, before that, going to the pilgrimage, you have to know about the Mahima of that pilgrimage, that site where you are going. You have to read it thoroughly, make an investigation. What is that place? What is the Mahima? Then when you go there, first don't go here and there for shopping and doing charity. First go to the temple, see the deity, come to know, meditate on that, nicely take it in your mind, see it, hear it, everything. Then after that, you come and meditate on that. Then the pilgrimage, whatever, will be beneficial. So that is Nididhyasana. All that you have seen, heard, the deity and the place, the Mahima, relive it again and meditate on that. That is the way. We forget everything. Why we are going to the pilgrimage, we do not know. We go there, we do not know the deity. What is the Mahima of that place? We go to shopping and other things. We go to the temple, rush inside. In the rush, you do something. You come back, eat some prasada or do some religious practices mechanically. Then come out and ask the people or the neighbors there, what was the deity inside? What is the name of the pilgrimage site? Afterwards you will ask. If that is the way, it is not useful. Ramakrishna tells how to do that. So Nididhyasana. You have to meditate upon what you have seen in the pilgrimage. That is Nididhyasana. Here, after reading, after hearing Shravana, Manana, then it is Nididhyasana. Reflecting and then meditating, reliving all those things. Lila Dhyana. Meditate on what you have seen, heard in this form. So that is Nididhyasana, which is very, very important. So, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. This is Vedantic. We exercises reliving the Shravanam is called Nididhyasana, reliving the class. So, which is extremely important exercise. Therefore, we have to spend time either on the same day or before coming to the, or before getting all those things, hearing all those things, we have to get ready. So, it is not just like getting marks in the examination. It is not like that. It is only useful for us. That is Shravana, and assimilating the things, to assimilate all that you have heard and read. So that will gradually bring in a transformation in our mind. So you can see that many people after hearing Bhagavad Gita, they come and tell me of all the great master, the lectures on the discussion on the great master and the Viveka Chudamani. After all that hearing, they come back and tell, we might have not got any visions, we might have not got any spiritual transformation, but after hearing all those things, the disturbance in our mind is reduced. We're getting more joy. Those knowledge is helping us so much. Even just for few months, it has helped us so much. Your mind has become calm. Our mind is now not agitated. So that itself is an achievement, isn't it? So I may not be able to claim that I am now become a Sthita Prajna, man of wisdom, steady wisdom. But previously, even for small disturbances or incidences, I used to worry for days together or years together or months together. Now even bigger incidences, bigger dangers, bigger problems will not disturb me. I don't worry. If the worry may come, I may be disturbed for some minutes or even one day. After that, I get into the normal course or the disturbance will be gone. So is that not a transformation? Is that not very, very important? So that is what we see. That is what we have to understand and learn. Thus, the hearing of Bhagavad Gita, reading, then reliving Nididhyasana, this exercise, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is very, very important, dwelling upon the teaching. So all the three exercises are very, very important. First is sense control, then it is the mind control, then this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These exercises are very, very important, which Lord Krishna highlights, and also he gives us the method here in this verse 2. So that's what here we can take an example of the driver. When you allow the sense organs to move in the world, Vishayan Indriyescharan, it is just like a cautious driver. He may increase the speed of the vehicle from 50 kilometers per hour to 60 kilometers to 70 kilometers, but there is a difference, because there is a difference between the rash driver and the cautious driver. A rash driver may be driving the vehicle at a lower speed, but he drives it in a very bad way. He doesn't have control over the vehicle. He may commit accidents. Whereas a cautious driver, he may be going at a higher speed, but he can control the vehicle at any time, any moment. He may put on the brakes, he may change the course of the vehicle, and everything will be under his control. So likewise, similarly, remember our body, our mind, our indriyas, our body is like a vehicle. That's why you can see it is in the Kathopanishad and even in Bhagavad Gita and many other Upanishad and Puranas, it is considered, it is compared to a chariot, a vehicle, chariot, Ratha Yatra. You see that in all the temples in India, the Puri Jagannatha Ratha Yatra is very famous, but in every temple in India there will be this Ratha Yatra. There will be a street itself, it's called chair car street or car street. So there will be that Ratha Yatra street itself in every temple in India. So Ratha Yatra will happen. So this body is compared to this Ratha or the vehicle. Kathopanishad especially it is there. Body is a vehicle, a car or the Ratha. The sense organs are the wheels and the mind is the steering. Never lose the control over the mind or the steering. Never lose the control over the sense organs, the wheels. Never lose the control over the Ratha. There it is compared to the horses, the senses. The five organs are compared to the five horses, the senses. So the person, the charioteer, is the intellect. So you have to give the Lord Krishna is given. Our Arjuna gave the reins to Lord Krishna. That's why you can see he came back to normalcy and he could become a healthy person and fight the battle and become victorious. So that is very, very important. So that example is given of the vehicle or ratha. So, and if a person is able to live such a disciplined life, Indra Nigraha, Mano Nigraha, and then this Shravana Manana Didyasana, following this discipline, controlling your mind, then Prasadam Adhigachati. The advantage is that he is able to maintain the equanimity of the mind, is free from violent emotions, and the frequency of the violent reactions will be lesser and lesser, and also the intensity of the disturbance will become lesser and lesser, and he can recover from any adverse situation, any problems of life, any difficulties, he can recover very quickly. So that is the advantage. Not that they are totally eliminated, not that you are completely bereft of all those things. Dangers will come, problems will come, you will be in the world, but it will not disturb you. You will not be in trouble. Prasadam adhigachati. You take control of everything. Nothing can disturb you. So that you have the tranquility of mind always. So now in the next verse we can see what is this tranquility of the mind. So as Arjuna is asked the question, how will a man of steady wisdom travel, eat, sleep, walk? What is his nature? So Lord Krishna answers in the next beautiful verse about that. So we shall go and see that wonderful verse 2, because we have some more time left. What is that Krishna is pointing out here in this verse is Prasade Sarvadukkanam. This is the 65th verse of the second chapter. Prasade Sarvadukkanam Hanirasyopajayate Prasanna Chedaso Hyashu Buddhif Parivatishtate. Now we shall chant this 65th verse of the second chapter. I will break it into smaller pieces, even if it is not displayed on the screen. You can hear what I tell and then you can chant it after me. Prasade Sarvadukkanam Prasade Sarvadukkanam Hanirasyopajayate Hanirasyopajayate Prasanna Chetaso Hyashu Prasanna Chetaso Hyashu Buddhif Parivatishtate Prasade Sarvadukkanam Hanirasyopajayate Prasanna Chetaso Hyashu Buddhihi Parivatishtate. What is the word-to-word meaning of that? So Lord Krishna is telling that is Sri Bhagavan Uvacha to Arjuna. What is this prasada? So we all think that that is an extended meaning of prasada, that is eating some prasada or having something, that's called prasada. Going to the temple or offering to God and eating that, that is the extended meaning of prasada. What is the real meaning of prasada? The original thing is, that is what Lord Krishna is telling. Prasade sarvadukkanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhihi parivatishtate, the 65th verse. So what is prasade? When the mind is tranquil, hanihi, the destruction will happen of what? Sarva dukkha, dukkhanam, that is all miseries, all the troubles will be destroyed. Upajayate takes place. He verily, buddhi, the self, the knowledge, self-knowledge, asya, of this prasanna chetasaha, the serene-minded person who has got this prasadam, parivatishtate, becomes firm. So this is how he will become his knowledge is converted into emotional strength and his mind will become buddhi parivatishtate, becomes firm. Knowledge will become firm. That is Stita Prajna. Ashu, soon. So tranquility. By this tranquility, by this prasada, the destruction of all miseries takes place. Verily the self-knowledge of this serene-minded person becomes firm soon. So that is the meaning of this verse. I have given you the word-to-word meaning and also the simple meaning of this verse. We will go to see what is the meaning of it. So we will now see in the practical world what is the use of this prasada, tranquility of mind. So in tranquility, that is prasada, the serenity of the mind, all sorrows of your life are destroyed. For the intellect of one who is tranquil minded, he is soon established in firmness. Then he gets sthitaprajna, wisdom becomes firm. That's why all the dukkha, all the sorrows will be destroyed for the person who has done these three controls. What is that? Sense control, mind control, and the third exercise is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Then he has converted his intellectual strength of whatever he has heard in the form of Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all the Puranas and other things, great saints, life of great saints and great avatar Purushas. So all that knowledge has made you firm. Then you get the tranquility. Then all the sorrows of your lives are destroyed. For the intellect of one who is tranquil minded is soon established in firmness. When prasada or tranquility comes, when that mind becomes tranquil, prasada is tranquility of mind. It comes, all sorrows are destroyed. So that is prasada. Sarva dukkhanam hani. I have now revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj gives a beautiful example of his lifetime. So Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is telling now, I have seen even in ordinary people, he may not be highly educated, he is ordinary, even or a worker. This steady buddhi in the presence of temptation. So many temptations may be there, they will not budge. So Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is giving an example. I will narrate you that example and we will stop the class today. So Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is telling when he was looking after the Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Cultural Institute of Cultural Institute in Calcutta, Gol Park, Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture in Calcutta. Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj was a secretary there in 1960s. Imagine it is 1960s, now it is 2020. 1960. So it is more than 55 years back. So a person living in that international guest house, he lost a purse of 10,000 rupees in 1960s. 10,000 means it's a huge sum. Present day maybe to the tune of million rupees. So he lost the purse which had 10,000 rupees, or rather he left it by mistake, forgot it in his room there in the guest house in that Institute of Culture. And also he forgot his air ticket, his passport, and he went away to Delhi. Going there, he found everything gone. Then he made a phone call to Calcutta, to our place, that's Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj is telling. What happened then? The worker who was cleaning the room, who looks after the room, found all these things lying there. It was easy temptation. He saw that 10,000 rupees, which is more than the million rupee. The worker who saw that the purse of so much of money, the ticket and everything, the greatness of that employee, a poor man who was getting a small salary of rupees 700 a month at that time in 1960s, he was poor. He had lot of needs in his family, so many difficulties in family. Yet he quietly, thoughtfully, intelligently brought back all those things to the office and gave it to me. That is Revered Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. So Swamiji, the Revered Maharaj, sent it back to that person. So though this person, the employee, he was suffering in his life, but the thought that it should be returned back to that owner, it is not mine. I cannot have it. The intellect, the firm intellect in that person. It was so easy temptation. Nobody would have known it. Nobody would have suspected him. We could have easily knocked off that money. No. He had another way of looking things. Such a way of looking at things is getting less now, day by day. What is the cause? The sensory system is very, very powerful and the controlling buddhi has become weak. But in those days, less education, but they were firm in their intellect because they used to hear so many good things in the form of Ramayana, Mahabharata. It had kept them very strong. The mind was very strong. Why in the present day it is so weak? Even though you are highly educated, even smallest temptation, you cannot withstand. Why? Because you don't have all that good knowledge, that knowledge which will make you firm, which will give you this steady mind. See, at the ordinary level, that worker, the employee, was getting so much of less salary, but in spite of that, he had so many difficulties in his house. But his intellect was firm, his mind was firm, his willpower was firm. He didn't take that, he didn't fall to the temptation. Controlling buddhi is strong, but present day it has become weak. The capacity to feel and respond to another person's problem as one's own can come only with the knowledge of the self, knowledge of God. That is the spiritual capacity. That capacity can come to all people. All have that strength, all have this viveka. It's there in equal quantity in everybody, but we are not exercising it. That's what Lord Krishna gave through this. Exercise that power, viveka shakti, inquiry, self inquiry. Know yourself, the knowledge of the self can make you strong. So, you may be seeing that capacity can come to all people, but sometimes the high in the society do not want it. Especially in India, we have now two types of poor people: the poor and the poverty stricken, namely the rich. They are poverty stricken, though they have a lot of rich in their house, in their property, everything is very well advanced in all the ways, but they are poverty stricken. But the poor people, they are very strong in character and they are rich in quality. So the latter have much, but they always want and seek more and more through corrupt practices. They cannot manifest this firm intellect, buddhi, which is a spiritual quality and doesn't depend upon any social status. Any human being can achieve this quality. So Lord Krishna is telling, Prasanna Chetaso Hyashuhu Buddhihi Parivatishtate. The buddhi, the intellect, the willpower of a person with tranquil mind soon becomes steady. So this is the important statement in this section. The verses 64 and 65 go together. When we now go to the verse 67, we will find the opposite of it. When this tranquility of Atmavashehi Videyashma is not there, people collapse morally. In these matters, each one must help oneself. So that is what Revered Ranganathan Maharaj is telling. He is bringing it to the practical level. So in those days, in olden days, the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Purana, Bhagavata, Harikatha, everywhere in the houses, the parents would tell that so their mind would be steady. They've got that spiritual strength inside, the character. But why now? It is not now there. Because all these things are given up. It is not there. The parents are not interested. The children do not want it. Just self-aggrandizement. So there is no strength in the character and they fall easily. Whether it is emotional disturbances like jealousy, fighting, infighting, the murders and what you call the suicides, tension, worry, stress, it has become so common because you don't have that knowledge. That's what Krishna is telling. Get this knowledge, Atma Gnana, then make it firm. These three exercises, sense control, mind control, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, the meditation, then your mind becomes strong. No sorrows, no problems can touch you. The wonderful way Krishna is taking us. We'll meditate on that, think on that, and we'll come to the next class ready with all those things. We'll study further. We'll have spill of the same verse will be studied. If possible, we'll go to the next verse. Or we'll continue the study of the same verse. So now, so already we have exceeded our time. Sorry for that. If you have any questions, I can entertain it. Yeah. In Johannesburg Center, because of the pandemic, no meetings are held. So it is not personally possible for the classes to be held until the restrictions on the COVID-19 are taken away. And we don't want to risk the life of the devotees, especially old people and children. They come to the meetings or satsangs or the lectures. So we can't put their life into the problems. So we are not meeting. That's the reason why we are conducting these online classes, which is very, very easy and helpful. So we are continuing that until all the problem of the COVID is completely solved. Once there is firm decision by the government, we have to respect the decisions of the government and also the safety of the devotees. So we are not meeting. Maybe this it may continue for 6 more months like this without meeting. We'll be on online classes only. So let us respect the government's decision and also we have to see the safety of the devotees. So it may not happen for 6 months. So in future, let us see. But as of now, we can enjoy these classes, hear the things. That is wonderful. So no more questions. I can now conclude this session with the chanting of one of the meditation mantras from Bhagavad Gita. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pankhum Langhayate Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you.